You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Now the All Blacks through. Artie Savia over the 10, over halfway, has support, looking to link up. Geordie Barrett, Bowden Barrett's there. Wheeling away from the tacklers. Bowden Barrett, ball left-hand side, Mark Talia. Talia for the line. Through 1, through 2, through 3, through 4. Over the try line. Mark Talia finishes a lovely All Black try.
Yeah, just one of the 14 tries scored by the All Blacks this morning. Let's bring in 61-game All Blacks loose forward Mike Brewer. Should have played, really, at 3 World Cups. Injury cruelly ruling him out in 1987 and again in 1991, but he played all the big games in South Africa in 1995, and he joins us now. Mike, thanks for taking the time. What was your overall assessment of what you saw play out in Lyon?
I think it was a good performance. I think the accuracy, and the intent of what they were trying to do was executed really well. But I wouldn't read too much into it because I think, Kieran Crowley and the whole Italian team would be very disappointed with their performance.
Yeah, I think a lot of people expected a much sterner test from the Italians. Is that more about what the All Blacks did, or will Italy be disappointed with the way they fronted up as well?
No, Italy, the missed tackles in the first half were pretty bad. I wouldn't say they'd be too happy, particularly even their captain, who's normally a really good defender. Type of defender, a lot of tackles in the first. But the All Blacks, they were executing the game plan. I thought they'd kick wide early because the back three of Italy are pretty short, and they scored a good try early on. But in the end, when they were just going through the middle, Italy were dropping off tackles and making it pretty easy for the All Blacks. So they just kept running at them, and they kept falling off tackles in the first half.
So if you're the All Blacks, though, all you can do is play what's in front of you, right? So all they can do is try and be as clinical as they possibly can, catch pass, not get too carried away with the razzle-dazzle. Surely they'll take a degree of satisfaction from that, Mike, the way that they kind of stuck to the basics and did the basic things well.
Absolutely. You can only play as well as the opposition lets you, and Italy let them play pretty easily in the first half, and they looked, things were pretty much lost in that second half. They started the second half quite well, and the All Blacks need to just pick up on those little things. There was 10 minutes of the start of the second half where we lost control of the game, where Artie Savia gave away a silly penalty, then we made a mistake. Next minute, the Italians score a try, and you can't have that happening in quarterfinals. If we do that against Ireland, they can rack up not 1 try, but 2 if we lose concentration for 10 minutes in a game.
Let's go to your area of particular expertise, the loose forwards. You played all 3 loose forward positions for the All Blacks. The 6-7-8 combo for the All Blacks moving forward, clearly Artie Savia is the number 8. Frizzell and Kane in 6 and 7 for the knockout games for you?
I was glad they took Shannon off. I thought they might have taken Brodie off a bit earlier as well. And I actually hope that they give them both a run against Uruguay as well. We play our starting team against Uruguay, and when the game's won, get them off the field, get those key players off the field. But Frizzell, yes, at 6, Artie at 8, and probably, depending on, who performs, then Dalton or Sam at 7. So, I really think we need to play an attacking game to progress in this World Cup and to go on to win it. And I think probably Dalton possibly, for me, just adds a little bit more in attack than Sam does. But, it'll be there or thereabouts. It won't be too different anyway.
And what about the 3 locks, Mike? Would you stick with Retallick and Barrett starting and Whitelock coming off the bench, or might you look at maybe tinkering with that?
No, I think this team, and it's just my personal opinion, is we've been playing players out of position too often. We've been playing wings at fullback and locks at flanker and openside flankers at 8. To me, Scott Barrett's a lock, and the other 2 are locks, and who's playing the best gets the nod, and the other one goes on the bench. And then, you've got a quality player coming off the bench if you need him or when you need him.
How would you be approaching the Uruguay game in terms of selection? You know, if all goes well, the All Blacks will have 4 more test matches at this Rugby World Cup. Would you be rolling out what is effectively a full-strength side against Uruguay heading into that quarterfinal against Ireland, or would you be, giving some guys a rest, giving other guys a run? How would you approach it?
I'd be starting my pretty much my top team, and then at half time, if the score was like it was today, then rolling those guys off and bringing on the reserves. But there's players that still need some game time. I think the more rugby Mark Talia, the better he gets. He's just unstoppable in the contact area. Will Jordan needs plenty of rugby still. For me, I wouldn't be wrapping these guys up in cotton wool. I'd put them on the field and then have the 8 players that you want to get time as well, and then once the game's won, then get them off and get them ready for the quarterfinal.
And you watched this game from Italy, ironically enough. Were you with any Italian fans, and how would you describe their demeanour if you were?
I'm in the Puglia city of Lecce at the moment, Piney. All hot weather, about 26 degrees, sitting in amongst all Italians. But this is a real football part of the. But they're all watching, and the Italian kids were singing the national anthem. So I'm lucky enough I'm going to watch Lecce play Napoli tomorrow at 3:00. So I was lucky enough to get my hands on two tickets to the football match tomorrow afternoon. So I'm looking forward to that. Absolutely,
I'm very jealous. And just to finish, Mike, how should All Blacks fans be feeling? Clearly, it's a big win against, as you've outlined, a disappointing Italian side. Should our levels of optimism, though, be higher than they were, say, a couple of weeks ago?
I think they should be. One of the key things is, their accuracy of execution was pretty good tonight. There wasn't a lot of pressure on them compared to, if they're playing a team like South Africa or France or Ireland. But I think they went out with a game plan to beat the Italians, and they executed that really well. I think, for me, the big thing against this Ireland is to, have a strategy and really go for that strategy. With the likes of, I think one of the key things they'll need to do against Ireland is attack Hugo Keenan, try and get him in, a one-on-one defensive position. He does miss a few tackles, particularly if he's having to tackle a guy like Mark Talia or Will Jordan one-on-one. I think those two guys can beat him in a one-on-one position. I'd be aiming my attack and my defence pretty hard at Johnny Sexton. I know Johnny from when he was a kid at Leinster, and he's a competitive man, but you can get under his skin, and I think Joe Smith will know that as well. So it'll be interesting to see how we approach the Irish game. I even saw it was a couple of phases we scored one really good try when we swept from one side of the field to the other in phase play, which was really Ireland-esque when we scored under the post. So, we've changed a little bit. We've got a few new things up our sleeve, and that was executed really well. And you could see it was a try off the training field, and the guys were really happy about it. So I think, the team will be happy. I think New Zealand supporters should be happy. But, Italy was a long, long way away from Ireland, South Africa or France.
Great summary, Mike. Thanks indeed for taking our call. Enjoy Italy, enjoy the football tomorrow, and on towards France. I believe you're heading to you are heading to France for hopefully 3 knockout matches.
Hopefully back in Paris for the quarters, and then there for the semis and final. So we'll see how we go.
Tom, man, Mike, great to chat as always. Thanks for taking the call.
Cheers, Piney.
Thanks, Mike. Mike Brewer there. 61-game All Blacks loose forward, played in all the loose forward positions. Some interesting thoughts from him. Measured, I think, is the best way he described Mike Brewer's reaction to that. He wasn't getting too carried away, as I don't think too many All Blacks fans are. It was only Italy, and a very poor Italy.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday, or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.